Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at NOCO's new line of lithium iron phosphate batteries, as well as installing it into a Honda Pioneer. So the one I'll be using is the NLP14, and this is a great battery for ATVs, things of that nature. This is what I'll be installing into the Honda Pioneer, which has a 1000cc engine. One thing to note, however, is that it is only 4 amp hours, whereas the one currently in the ATV, I think, is 12 amp hours. So a lower capacity, but we'll get as to why that's not too significant here in a minute. Very nice packaging, as be expected from this particular brand. We have plates. These are essentially going to be used to add spacers or buffers as needed to get the correct height of a lead acid battery inside the battery compartment. We have a manual here that's just going to explain some additional information on the battery, and then we have the battery itself. This is 4 spacers, and this is the final product of the battery. Very nice casing, extremely lightweight, especially compared to lead acid. And one of the things I really do appreciate is that this is for various applications. So you can mount it from the top or from the sides, so it's universal mounting. Plus, you can have it in many different directions, whereas lead acid batteries generally can only be in one position, and that's going to be straight up like so. I'm going to go ahead and connect this to a charger and let it charge for a bit before we begin the install. One thing to consider with lithium-based batteries is the charger you're using. You don't want to use a charger specifically made for AGM and lead acid batteries with lithium. It can overcharge them, damage the cells, and be a potential hazard. So make sure you do have a battery charger that will do lithium batteries. In this case, NOCO makes one. I went ahead and purchased it. It is the NOCO Genius 1. Just a small battery charger for smaller batteries, and a great trickle charge option, as you can buy accessories to go with it, which you can have attached to the battery. Simply plug 2 cables together to the trickle charger, and you're good to leave it for 6 months, a year, however long you need to at a time. This is it in itself. Very small, compact design, good cable. Nice shroud around the cable on the front end, which offers some flexibility, so I'm not too worried about damage. But all you got to do is plug it in to an outlet in your house. In this case, this cover kind of defeats that purpose for me. I have it turned on, and then I'm just going to click it with mode, and I'm going to go to the lithium battery setting and then charge the battery. And now this red light is slowly going on and off, showing that the battery is charging. Once that light goes to green, the battery will have been fully charged and ready to install into the Pioneer. Now that this battery is charged, I'm going to go ahead and go through the installation on this Pioneer, switch mount, and we'll see how this does. So the battery compartment on these Pioneers is up front. You're just going to undo these little tabs right here, set the hood to the side. Battery is right here, and I believe this is a 10mm socket for these pieces. First thing we're going to do is, well, disconnect the negative. And now disconnect the positive. With these out of the way, you have 2 10mm bolts actually holding the battery in place, so we'll remove those real quick. Now that the bracket's removed, I'm just going to set it over here to the side. Make sure I don't lose any of those nuts. And then simply remove the battery from the compartment. Definitely a lot heavier than this lithium I'm about to put in. But there it is. That's the old battery. This is 16 amp hours. Oh, yeah, 16 amp hours versus the 4 amp hour I'm going to put in. The only concern is when you're reducing the amount of amp hours or capacity the battery has is the runtime with the engine off. Especially when it comes to power sport equipment, if you're running a winch, anything of that nature, just make sure your engine is running. Keep your revs up either in neutral or in a low gear, and that's going to provide plenty of power to charge the battery as you're winching, things of that nature. But if you're going to have LED lights or accessories on while you're not on the ATV or the engine is off, keep in mind you may want to go for dual battery setup so you have that additional amp hour or battery capacity. With the old battery removed, we're considering the new battery location, and it's going to be the same spot facing towards us, so we need to take these bolts out and have them facing our way so we're able to more easily access them. All you need is a 4mm hex wrench, and that will do the job. I'm just going to go ahead and finger tighten these down for a second now that I have them in position. And once that's done, we need to see the spacers we need. Obviously, the factory battery is taller than this one, and we want to make sure this is secure, the new lithium. So in this case, we just have these two spacers, and this came with the NOCO battery. And we place it in here. It's an excellent fit. That's the right height. It's going to allow it to be in securely. All I need to do is put the plastic cover on to help protect it from dirt and debris over time. And then we will be all set to install it. One thing I appreciate is it looks like these are, I don't know what type of connectors, almost like brass. If they are brass, and that can be used for batteries, it's actually quite nice. It should reduce corrosion, and they just look a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner as well. Well, now we got this, we're just going to install our power, our positive, negative back up, and then this thing ought to be ready to fire. When it comes to these connectors, you don't need them too tight, you just want them snug. That's going to be a good connection right there. I'm not going to move around too much. And now the negative. With both snug, nice in place, we'll go ahead and tighten this one up just a tad bit more. Let's go ahead, crank the engine over before we put this cover back on and make sure everything is wired properly. With 500 cold cranking amps, this should be plenty of power to crank this over, but obviously we have light, so power is on. Plenty of power from this battery to get this 1000cc engine going. Perfect. So that is installing the lithium battery here on the Pioneer. This is going to last a very long time, and it's something I'm not going to have to worry about very often whatsoever. If you're interested in this battery for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description below, as well as right up here. By purchasing using this link, you'll be helping out the channel as well. But guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please make sure to share, like, and subscribe for more. And as always, thanks for watching.